Good morning. We're back to our sunshine here, for today at least. And I think it's going to be warmer, so it'll be a nice day. We're going to go down to my seed warehouse and get my other truck, get that gooseneck unhooked, and load it up with signs for today. Today's an exciting day on the house project. So I just walked out, see what's going on. They are chalk lining out all of the walls, the interior walls, which is super awesome because now I can finally see my floor plan, life size, and what everything looks like. And it's great. That living room, kitchen area is massive. Yeah, this is gonna look vastly different by the end of the day. There will be walls there. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right, well, we unhooked the trailer. I should have threw my straps out, but that's okay. So we need some signs. And so I used to hate these two-piece signposts because they're a pain in the butt. But then I quickly realized so I also used to hate that we put signs up that don't have numbers on them, which some of these do have numbers, but we also have a lot of, somewhere in here, like that one. They're just a generic Golden Harvest sign. And they don't give me numbered signs anymore. And I get the logistics issue of the cost of printing new signs and having to not be able to reuse them as long or as much. But I also have customers that complain, like, how come they don't put a number on that so I can tell what hybrid or variety you got out there and stuff. And I get that too, so... but the nice thing with the two-piece signs and the non-numbered, or the two-piece post and the non-numbered signs, the generic signs, I don't have to take them apart. So I've got this whole pile of signs here that are mostly those. The rest of them are from my plots from the last year or two that do have numbers, and some of those need to be taken apart, and probably some of these signs are junk. But we're going to clean up this pile and go put a bunch of them up. All right. We've got some signs. I got 20 of them loaded up here. I grabbed some bottom posts, and we got some flags and some extra hardware, and I grabbed a few more of my XL seed signs, which I don't know if I've ever even told you guys that, but my seed business is kind of a separate deal, and it's XL Seeds is the name of my business. Y'all want to go and Google my business and give me 5-star reviews? That'd be awesome. Here's some good looking Golden Harvest corn. I think we'll start here. So, we start off with a bottom post, something like that, and we put our little post driver on there and give it a good stomp. This is dangerous. Okay, pull that off. We'll find our sign. We're going to use this one. Well, that one looks just fine. We'll put it like that. There you go. Field sign number 1 done. Only about, 150 to go. One time Golden Harvest had a competition. For 1 week, they were telling everybody to go out and put signs up, and whoever did the most in the day, or the top 5 or something, got a $1,000 to spend on our merchandise store. I won one day, did like 135 signs in one day or something like that. The competition's been. Well, we've got some beautiful corn up here. Ooh, I don't want to walk too far out here, it's still wet. We got water on the leaves. But dang, this stuff is chest high on me, growing, canopying, beautiful. Beautiful corn. Looks fantastic. For any of you Golden Harvest people out there, this beautiful corn is 08M20, planted on April 27th, and it's gorgeous. That's one of my favorite hybrids. I know I'm going to load signs up a couple more times today, probably. I brought 20. But I better go to those customers. They're that way. I just kind of went up the main road. The farm is straight behind us, and I don't think I put up half of them yet, but I'm running out of signs already. So we'll go over and do those, and then we'll come back and keep going around our fields. So one of my customers is the local strawberry farm. I stopped in to ask where I need to put signs up and got a couple carts of berries, so that was awesome. I was hoping to bring the boys back to go picking again this weekend maybe, but berries are running out quickly and it's supposed to rain for the next 6-8 days, so I don't think that's going to happen. So I decided just to get a couple quarts so that I can make myself a strawberry pie. That's what we're after. All right, we got some signs up on their stuff. I'll do a couple more off the side road over there, but I thought I'd take a look at their corn while I'm here for a second. We do have some hail damage here, a little bit. Got some shredded leaves, some of these holes like we saw the other day. It'll be all right. This will grow out of that, not a huge deal. The other thing I'm noticing is they've got a little bit of speckling here. So this customer, they put most, if not all of their, well, most of their nitrogen on with Y drops. So they have a sprayer come through. If you're not familiar with Y drops, it's got a tube that drops off the boom, goes down in between the rows, and then there's a hose that kind of Y's out that way and this way so that it dribbles 28% liquid nitrogen right along the base of the plants. It's a good way to do it. Can have some challenges, but they like to do that, and so that is what this little bit of burn is from. Somewhere the 28 dribbled when they were turning or something, and it burnt some of these leaves. Again, minor cosmetic issue, not going to cause any kind of trouble. You don't have it out in the field. It's mostly just where they were turning. In fact, you can see right here is the tire track from the sprayer making its turn. So overall, looks really good. Nice looking field of corn. They're happy with it. I'm happy with it. Good deal. Back on some of our own stuff here, putting some signs up on some bean fields. I'm about out, so I'm heading back to my seed warehouse here pretty shortly, but thought I'd stop and look at these beans. They look good. We just need stuff to keep growing, getting taller. They look nice and dark and green and fuller where we have some overlaps on these end rows. There's a flower. Got a few started, not too many. Another week or a week and a half and you'll see a lot of blooms out here. But yeah, they look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. You can see all these branches we're starting to get coming off the lower nodes. That's good. It's all good things. All right, I am tired of putting up signs. Well, I'm not really, but I'm gonna take a break from putting up signs. And it's almost lunchtime, so I want to take some tissue tests where we sprayed the foliar feed product, where we didn't spray it, and where we sprayed the different foliar feed product, and take them down to our crop consultant and have them send them in. So I just got off the phone with him. He gave me pretty good instructions on how to sample them, cut the plants off the ground, and take them the whole plant. So we're going to do that and see if we can tell any difference, whether this stuff made any significant difference whatsoever. All right, so here's the field, and right in this spot I've got, so right here is my sprayer tracks, this row. And when I was spraying one of the fields just down the road, I made one pass through this field with that Corn Science foliar feed product. And so this is the sprayer tracks from where I did it. So I'm gonna walk out here where it was under the boom, and I'm gonna pull out 5 plants or cut them off with my knife. We're gonna rubber band them together because I don't have any paper bags big enough to put them in. And then we're going to go over, because outside of where the boom covered, I have a strip that didn't get anything. And then another pass beyond that, I have where I sprayed that value pack. So we're going to see what we can find, but they said they want 5 or 6 plants. So I'm gonna walk out here, pull one out of a couple of different rows, and I'm gonna try and be consistent of where, in relative to the sprayer, that I'm pulling the plants from both treatments, or really all 3. Cut it off at ground level. There's one. Probably shouldn't lay them in the dirt, they'll get contaminated. So right here is the center of the pass, sprayer pass, that got the value pack. So here, and then my untreated, and then the first check that we were in was down there. So I'm gonna pull some. See, there's so much variation. We got a crappy spot there. I have no idea. Well, anyway, I'm going to pull 5 plants from here. I'll show you the split row when I find it. But it's nothing noticeably different out here. I believe this to be the split. Untreated, treated. Yeah, I can't tell a difference here. We'll put the 3 bundles together, see if there's anything there, but I doubt it. But that's why we do these tissue tests, because it'll show if there's some actual nutrient differences between one sample and the next. What do you think? See anything? Yeah, neither do I. Maybe a touch more striping, but this one's got some too. I don't know. All right, so this field here right behind our farm has been some of our best looking corn all year, and I have pushed this. I sprayed both of those foliar products on this along with a fungicide, and it's growing. It's chest high corn on me, and it does have some of that wheel track compaction in certain spots, but I'm gonna find some good spots here, and I'm gonna pull 3 plants or so. I'm sure they don't need the whole plants at this growth stage, but I don't know what they do want, so I'll just take them the whole thing and they can pull off what they want. And then I'm gonna grab some from over there where it didn't get sprayed, but it's still pretty good corn, and we'll get another comparison just because. I'm trying to get a growth stage on this corn. It's sort of difficult when the bottom leaves are all gone, but this one here I can find. The bottom leaf is right there. It's starting to dry up and die, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just starting the 9th leaf collar. This is V9 corn. We do still have some of that rapid growth striping. Yep. It looks fantastic. I'm nitpicking at this point. Look at this. Planting double crop beans. I think that's what they're doing. I wonder if that was barley or something not wheat. Okay, I got the tissue samples dropped off. Made a couple of stops and some errands. Do you guys see this? This is our current forecast, July 24th, which is today, through July 3rd. Today, partly cloudy, 82. Rain, 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 rain. Less of a chance of rain. Rain. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem for a lot of things. And I know it's the middle of the growing season, you don't complain about it raining. But we do need to harvest wheat. I was hoping the end of next week. That's not looking promising, which puts our double crop beans in jeopardy. Although they'll have plenty of moisture if we can get them planted. It sounds like they're calling for substantial rainfall, between 2 to 4 inches just over the weekend, and then continuous rain all week. So now, it's rare that a forecast like that actually holds and we get rain every day. What they're basically saying is it's going to rain at some point, we don't know when. So who knows how bad it will be, but it's about to get really wet. And that could be a problem. The corn should be fine unless we have some serious ponding. Beans, we may lose some drowned out spots where the water sits in ponds, depending on how fast it comes, how long it stays, how much we get, how consistent it is. There's a lot of factors here, so next week will be interesting. But point being, we're trying to wrap up some stuff outside before it rains so that we can get it done. Things like mowing the lawn. So Dad's mowing his lawn right now. I'm waiting for him to get done so I can go down to my seed warehouse and do mine. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for him, I want to take the gator out and go to one of the fields right out here where I've got some of that pinch row compaction issues from our planter tractor, and I want to put stakes out in one planter pass in every row, labeling which row number is so that I can remember it when I get to harvest, and I can harvest it kind of one row at a time and figure out what kind of yield difference we're seeing there. So I'm going to grab the gator and some stakes and flags, and we're going to go out and do that. Ugh, can you see it? Yuck. This is one of the worst spots that we've got that compaction, and so this is a good spot. So my plan here is to take these stakes and write numbers 1 through 16 on them, which would be the rows on the planter. And then we're going to stick them in front of each one of those rows. I'm going to put a couple flags out in between the rows so that I can actually find them later in the season. And then when we come in and harvest here, so this is the center of the planter and the tractor right here. So we're going to go 8 rows out that way and 8 rows out that way. And when I harvest, I can take the outside row down and bring the outside row back. And then I can unload, and then I can do the next one, the second row and the 15th row. And then we can do the, so on and so on until we eventually will take this row and this row, which are our 2 pinch rows between the duals. And then we'll finish with this row and this row, which are the 2 in between the tires in the center. And we can get a yield difference for each row basically from the center. So, next to a tire, between the tires, next to a tire, no compaction, no compaction. And then out on the wings, we had just the planter tires run out there, which is something, but not nearly as much weight as what's in the center. So anyway, that's my theory on how we're going to test this. I don't know if it'll show anything or not, but we'll see. All right, I've got stakes in every row, flags on the end. They're all labeled, so we should be able to keep track of that. I'm going to come to the next pass over. And I just want to dig up one plant from this row where there's no compaction and one from over there in a pinch row. See if we can see a root difference. I mean, I know we can see a root difference. The question is, can I dig it up good enough to actually see it? Well, I tried to dig up as much as I could. I already broke some of the roots off. This is the good row. Let's set this over there and we'll go dig up one from the pinch row. Here's our pinch row. Find a plant that's sort of somewhat by itself like that last one was. About right there. It's one of the better ones in this row, but we'll try that one. I mean, it's got roots too. I can see them. Oh yeah. Whew. Much smaller. Ugh. Okay, let's take them up and wash them. All right, I did my best to dig up the roots as intact as possible. I broke them off, I know that. But now we're going to use the water and the hose and try and gently-ish wash the dirt away from them just so you can see the actual root mass differences. And I want to see on this compacted one if we can see any kind of a pattern in the way that the roots are growing. With the row, down the seed trench, not across the rows, kind of things you would expect where they run into that compacted layer. All right, well, the above ground differences were very apparent, right? Clearly this plant is behind this plant. I can't really grow stage it because I've already got rid of most of the bottom leaves and it's hard to do. I could do it. You got to cut the stalk. Some of you may remember last year when I dissected a corn plant and kind of exploded it. We'll do that again this year, but not today. So we're looking at roots. So this is the good one, and you can see the root mass there. I probably broke off, I don't know if I broke off half the roots, but I broke off some. So there is more to it than this, but we've got nice fibrous roots. We've got a lot of them, and look at the structure. Look how round this is, and that they branch off in every direction from that plant, right? And they're going down, digging deep into the soil, finding water and nutrients and all of the stuff that we want it to find. Somewhere in there, there's probably a kernel, the seed that it grew from. I don't see it right now. I may have washed it off. I'm guessing it was right here. But anyway, look at the nice fibrous roots. We've got lots and lots of branches, root hairs, all of that good stuff. Now, let's contrast that with this plant. Look at which way the roots are growing. See that mohawk pattern? See how we've got roots going this way and very little going this way? Those are growing down the seed trench. The tires were out here. It was compacted. The roots couldn't get there. Much less mass in the center. We don't have that nice round root crown like we do over here. You can also see that they've clearly hit a compacted layer. If I can get this to set right so I can film it and show you. But right here, these roots are growing laterally instead of down. They found a crack here and eventually made it, but they're growing sideways. Right there is the kernel, the seed, where it was planted from. This root over here, we don't see a whole lot of that lateral movement. They all made it in and they grow off on that nice downward angle, not across the soil profile. This is why compaction is bad. We're well aware that compaction is bad, but there's only so much I can do about it. So there you go. There's the difference in the roots of a good plant versus a behind poor plant, I guess we'll call it. Dad's done. My turn. Okay, the lawn's mowed. So yesterday when I was leaving, I was telling you guys that Phil had been going through the grain system and cleaning the grain bins. And I may have alluded to the fact that he's going overboard, which apparently you all think is funny, or at least some of you, because I'm the one that goes overboard cleaning. But let me just show you. I haven't looked in here, so I don't know if he's done, but we'll see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So y'all see this grain bin that we're standing in, right? There's nothing on the floor, not a kernel. You will not find a kernel of corn or wheat or anything in this bin. And I'm sure it is absolutely killing Phil that he can't reach all that dust. Because look, he swept down the sidewalls on everything that he could reach. Which I find funny. But no, he does a really good job. Looks like we're going through a chain, some stuff on the power sweep here. Getting that all ready to go. So this bin is our top dry. You'll notice the false floor up there at the top. It holds 1,500 bushel up there, and then there's a big fan with a duct that blows hot air up through the grain on top. So this is the bin we'll use to dry our wheat if we need to dry wheat. Here's the wet bin that we use for storing wheat or wet corn. Notice how this one is swept all the way up to there. That was how far he could reach. So every time he pulls a load or two out, he'll come in here and sweep down the walls to keep them clean. Again, you won't find a kernel of corn in here. I think he's still working on this, but he pulled the covers off of our pit and over here off of the pit to clean these out. I don't know if he's gonna bring the power washer out here yet or not, but we're cleaning all this stuff up. I'm sure he has also been through these bins back here. So these 3 bins back here that are not attached to our grain system, this is where we store wheat. Sometimes we'll just fill those 2, sometimes we'll fill 2 of these, sometimes we'll fill all 3. It just depends on how many acres of wheat and what everything is looking like for the year. But I'm guessing it's pretty clean in there as well. Yeah. Looks brand new, right? We bought this bin used, took it down. That's why the numbers are on the sheets. So anyway, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that he goes extreme cleaning stuff out. I'm just saying it's a little more than I would do, and I would call it overboard. I mean, it's a good thing. All right, back down to the house. Maddie brought the boys out. She has not seen it since they've done anything this week, and since they've got all the chalk lines down on the floor, you can get a feel for the rooms and stuff. And well, it's supposed to rain the next 10 days, so today's our day. Wrong.
It doesn't.
It's huge.
No.
Yeah, it's a huge deck.
Huge deck?
You
Look,
gotta board up
they're
that.
building walls. I guess I didn't even show you guys what happened today, but yeah, we got the garage walls put up. So they've got that all framed in. They've got chalk lines on the floor where all the walls, interior walls go. That wall's framed, but they didn't set it up. I think it goes in the front over there, so pretty awesome.
Now you're in trouble. Ah. You're on vacation last week and vacation Bible school this week. Now what?
All right, well, we've seen what we need to see here, so it's time to go home. Can you tell everybody bye, Brayson?
Bye.
So for tomorrow's plan, it kind of depends on whether it's raining or not, is what exactly we've got going on. But I fully intend to work on the combine and the bean head. So Brock should be here. We can do that in the back shed if we need to, or we can do it outside. I don't know if these guys will be back or not. Depends on if it's raining. So we will see.
No, look at those little clouds. They get rain.
I know. Well, it looks like rain that way. So we will see. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Questions, comments, leave them down below. See you tomorrow. Oh, that looks like it was a bad day. They dug that sprayer out of somewhere back there.